Good morning, guys. Oops, hang on. Kill this. There you go. No? Hello? Sorry, hang on a sec, guys. Alrighty, guys. So welcome to this Thursday, no, December 4th. And sorry about the little hullabaloo in the morning here. I switched computers around a bit, and I'm trying to get this computer to work now with running Zoom. And obviously, there's something up with the sound. I'll work on that after this update. So uh, at this point, market is pretty much holding on to the gains. We're looking at a pretty good move to the upside. And the other day, yesterday, after the little rundown early on, we had a nice little rotation up and we took out the highs and we are kind of holding the gains, holding that support there at the 1868.55s. And I would say that we're in a pretty good spot still to potentially take it higher, but we've seen this kind of setup before, right? When it's all grind, and can't quite take it higher. And as soon as someone starts covering, we'll see a potential just absolute risk off kind of a day. So I'm not predicting that right now. I'm just going to watch this and see what happens. But we got a pretty good range, and we have the lower area 68.15, or actually it's 68.20 now and 68.10, a split that's edge. And if these two support areas comes out, I would be a lot more concerned about the short side right now. So that's kind of where we're at on the ES. Now, news today. This morning we had the job cut report that was high, but not as high as last time. So it was like 71,000. Last time was like 150,000. Uh, at 8:30, we get international trade and jobless claims and factory orders at 10. So 8:30 and 10, we have news today, and that's about it. All right. Tomorrow we get the personal income number come out, and that's going to be an interesting one. And right now, it looks to me like we got a pretty good start of the day, and if the market can hold on to this and maybe even scratch up above this area, the mode here at the 68.80s, we're going to be back in action. So I'm waiting for them to start moving. But as you know, the market is the market. It's you get some risk off trading, and suddenly this whole thing just grinds back down again. But we had a nice little run up here to the end of the November month, and December starting off just kind of grinding here, trying to figure out if they're going to be able to take this higher or not. They have taken out 6,800. They're holding above it. So as long as they hold there, we are in good shape to take this higher. It's just, or either that, or we're gonna just be sitting here just grinding sideways. So we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. But right now, that's where we are. So looking at the ES early on, looking to buy weakness 68.55, 45s, 35, yeah, 35s. 30s for rotations up. 68, 20, and 10 will be the last one to buy against, I think. Below the 68 10s, I think we are heading back down again. We still have the 6800, 6795 below us here, but now would be the outliers. I would think that already if they start taking out that 68, 10, and 20 on the way down, if that starts happening, we're going to be in some trouble here. So I'm going to look to buy weakness for rotations up, looking for short setups against the 6870. That's about it. If they start taking this higher, and the 6885 mode here could potentially be a we have one smaller area here at the 70 and one at 80. So the 70s is kind of where we are. The 80s is in the next level up. So I think the 80s, if they get out there, could be a little bounce there, but they're pretty close right now. So I'm not going to expect a big bounce there, but if they get up there, potential rejection first time to it. But I keeping my fingers crossed that we can get up there. So Looking to buy weakness, starting with favoring the long side of the market. Still, watching this carefully because of this grind, especially the rundown we had yesterday morning. That was one scary one. So we'll see. Looking for stuff like that. If the if it's going to start happening in a similar fashion, or we're going to get a little bit more clearing and moving to the higher levels here, a bit more upside momentum on the price movement. But that's kind of how we get started on the ES. On the Nasdaq, very similar going on there. Starting off range bound biases to the upside of favoring the long side. The Nasdaq held on pretty good yesterday, though they had an even worse rotation down. Their run down, you can see how crazy that was. Straight down, straight back up again. Not straight back up, but straight down and then a grind up. And then they're holding on to the gains. But they're up here against that 670. They're holding the 500 level. And if I look at capital flow on the Nasdaq, uh, we are holding this area here, the 25 500s, trading holding above it still. The next level down, which could be scary, is that 350, 360 level. So that comes out, bets are off, and we may be heading lower at that point. But on the Nasdaq, we have a pretty good support edge here at the 520s, 530s here. So I would look to buy weakness all the way down to that edge. Below the 520, I would take off the long bias and look for further rotation to the downside. So looking to buy against the 25 610, 600 to 610, the 560s, 520s, 480s, mounted at sorry, it's 420s, 420s, not 420s, for rotations back up. So here's your 490, 480, 490 in the 420s. And this is your 500 level pretty much. So that's that area of congestion. If they start heading below that 500 level, that's where these two support areas going to come out, and we're going to be in have some problems at that point. And on the way up, looking for shorts against the only one I'm looking for shorts against is that 680s. Other than that, I would be looking for and I'm looking for bigger shorts for rotations back to the mean, that kind of a short. Not the little scalp shorts that take sometimes in the middle for small rotations. Um, but this would be more of a rotational short for rotation for a back for a move down to maybe the 640s, something like that. So the 680s down to the 640 level or maybe even lower. So that's how we get started on the sorry, on the Nasdaq. Leaning towards the long side on that guy, favoring the long side still. As you can see, the Nasdaq, if I pull out both the ES and Nasdaq, like that and like this. You can see that the ES is kind of churning up here. Nasdaq had a little move out of the middle up to get up to this attractor area. So Nasdaq is in a little bit better spot to potentially take this higher. That would be leaning a little bit more on the long side on the Nasdaq. And I would favor the long side of the ES, and I would lean long on the Nasdaq at least to get started and see if they can get some traction here. They had to get up above that the 800s before we really start getting excited about the long side. So these two next to resistance areas is going to be key. And if you can get up above them, we'll be in pretty good shape. So starting from the long side, looking to buy weakness on the Nasdaq. Initially against support. Let me see here. Against the all the way down here to that 420. So initially looking to buy against support 600, 610s, 560 to 70s, 520s, 480 to 90s, and 420s for rotations back up. That's what we said, right? So that's how we get started on the Nasdaq. And we start leaning towards the long side of the market when it comes to that market. So both of them still on the long side, but I'm getting a little bit concerned about the ES, and if they can't start making something happen, we may see one of those risk-off days develop. They kind of knock it down a bit. So anyway, so that's how we get started on the ES and Nasdaq. Looking at the bonds, bond market is pretty much as they usually are, pretty much in a holding pattern and not going anywhere. They down here towards 116 again. So Again, I will be looking for um, this move to the upside didn't go anywhere. They just kind of reverse retested this edge at the 1628, so back down again. Just are taking out the 1606s and the 16s. I would be looking at buying it against these two support areas. So against the 1606s and against this 1530 to 116s for rotations up. If both of them comes out, we're on the short side. We're heading down to the 114s at that point. So then we're finally getting to that factor. They've been down here now a couple of times trying to take out this lower edge. And if they do, next attractor is going to be down here at the 114. So that means that lower prices means higher yields in the short term. So that would be weird, right? If the Fed's pondering lowering rates, but they still can't get this, still can't get the long-term yields to come down, that will not be a good sign for the Fed. So we have a Fed meeting next week, I believe. So that's going to be see if that rate cut comes in or not. So that is the bonds for now. So starting off range bound, and if anything, I would look for early weakness, see if they can take this lower or get long against, sorry, get short against early strength up here against the 115, 116s. That would be against this retest. That would be on the only level above the 115, 16, so I'm taking off the short bias. Uh, and so looking to get short, so a slight short bias on the bonds, looking to sell strength only up to that 115, 116, 15 to 16 level. All right, so that is the bonds. The key thing to see if they take out that 116 lower support area that comes out. That could be pretty gnarly one. But right now, as you can see, the stalling at 116.06 has been here for a bit. That could be a nice buying opportunity. We'll see how this whole thing comes together. All right, back to the ES. And Nasdaq, well, before I do that, here you got oil, the trading around 59 still. Haven't done much on oil and stuff in terms of analysis, just took off the levels and not kind of putting anything up on that one right now. But you can see on oil, not much happening on that guy right now. Pretty much sideways action, right? Uh, on gold, looking at that guy, it's not much going on there either. We are pretty much churning around for this 4220 or 4200. So a little bit above the prior areas, but I haven't really tracked it a whole lot either. But they're definitely not back up towards the highs. They are, uh, yes, basically going sideways around 4,200 right now. So not much to say about those two, but I just thought I was going to show them real quick. Uh, okay, back to the ES, and so we're starting off the ES and Nasdaq from the long side. Nasdaq a little bit stronger than the ES, and let's see if we can get some traction on this, or are they going to turn into one of those risk off kind of a days instead? So climbing that wall of worries. I'm just hoping they can keep it going. So, all right, guys, we'll wrap it there, and I'll see you guys back at 11:30 for the next update. So good trading, and I will be messing around a little bit here with the I'll be messing around with the sound here a little bit afterwards. So as you know.